Yun nga, yung sinasabi nga na Barangay 76 sa Caloocan muli at ang nakatakda, dalawa lang ang botante, dalawa lang ang populasyon.
Naguguluhan ako rin sa dalawa lang yung inhabitants eh.
Mr. President, I move that we resume consideration of Senate Bill number 2816 under Committee Report number 317. This is the bill setting the term of office of barangay officials and the members of the Sangguniang Kabataan. So move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? There being none, the resumption of consideration of Senate Bill number 2816 under Committee Report number 317 is now in order.
I move to resume the period of interpellation and recognize the sponsor, Senator Aimee R. Marcos, and to interpret our minority leader, Senator Aquilino Coco Pimentel.
Hearing no objection, the period of interpellation is in order. We recognize the distinguished sponsor of the measure, the Ate ng Bayan, Senator Aimee Solucion Marcos, and to interpellate our minority leader, Senator Coco Pimentel.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you, Majority Leader.
Can we ask for a minute suspension, Mr. President?
Session is suspended for a minute.
With the permission of our hardworking sponsor, Mr. President, if we can ask some clarificatory questions about this very important measure, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. I will attempt to answer as best we can all the questions of the Minority Leader. Thank you.
This measure will actually change how we treat the barangay officials, including SK, no? As far as their term of office is concerned.
Yes, that's correct, Minority Leader.
According to Section 1, the term of office of all elected barangay officials and members of the Sangguniang Kabataan shall be 6 years. No barangay elective official or member of the Sangguniang Kabataan shall serve for more than 2 consecutive terms in the same position, and then etc. Given the age, let's focus first on the Sangguniang Kabataan. Just
yes.
To be clear. Given the age bracket for the SK, is that rule on the not serving more than 2 consecutive terms applicable to the SK?
Yes, there are certainly concerns about the SK, and we will be introducing amendments such that they can only serve 1 term if it's a 6-year term. Right now, the maximum age for candidates in the SK is 24 years, kaya pasok pa rin sa 30-year deadline or limitation. Pero 1 term lang. After 1 term, talagang they have to run for some other position or not at all.
So what is the rule with the SK? You can run, what is the rule as amended, Mr. President? You can run for an SK position if you are from 18 to 24 years of age?
Yes, if you are 24 years old or less, you can...
But above 18, 18 and above.
Yes, 18 to 24 in effect. You can run.
So when does this 2 consecutive terms of 6 years apply? When
it will no longer apply. That's why we will be introducing a future amendment.
So kaya, that's why.
Because it doesn't work.
So that's why
it really doesn't work. You're right.
From the reading, yes, Mr. President. So
with the permission of the Minority Leader, so I understand that the SK can only run for one term only, not 2 consecutive terms.
That's correct. They'll be overaged after that single term, assuming they're at the maximum age of 24 at the time they ran.
All right. Kung maaprubahan itong 6 years, am I correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. Thank you.
But current law, under current law, what is now the term of office of elected barangay officials and members of the SK?
Yes. Under current law, under RA 9164, it's a 3-year period. But because of the repeated extensions, what has happened is the batch elected in October of 2023 will be up for re-election in December of 2025. Halos wala pang 2 taon upon assuming office. So, malaking sagabal at problema at gastos to.
Pero alam nila to nung tumakbo sila.
Yes, I believe
Yes,
they were
that was-
aware
yes.
of this, but it was very much a last-minute occurrence because the Supreme Court thereafter, following their filing, issued the Makalintal decision.
But it's a fact that it was well announced before
Before
the filing and
before
before
they
the election that this will be a short term.
When did it come out? Yes. I believe that it was properly announced in July of 2023. But June of 2023, but I don't think that gave much recourse to the barangay officials because they were up for filing already in a couple of months. So
And then-
maraming hindi na nakaintindi na talagang ganun kaikli lamang.
Malaking issue po yun. I mean, dapat pagka tumakbo sa isang elective position, dapat siguro aware sila. Binabasa nila, una, anong function nila, ano ang kapangyarihan nitong position nito, anong responsibilities, plus the term, Mr. President. So,
I think that's one of the real problems with the barangay terms, which is why we would like to, in consonance with the Makalintal ruling, instead of resorting to constant and arguably whimsical, capricious, and frivolous extensions, once and for all, amend the term to a longer period. Because the postponements have been so frequent that in fact the barangay officials are no longer aware of their actual term. Nagumpisa kasi ito 6 years, naging 5 years, naging 3 years, 5 years, 3 years, tapos ina-extend ng 1 year, extend ng another year, magkasama po tayo, nakadalawang extension po tayo, yung 2020, naging 2022, yung 2022, naging 2023. Baka hindi na talo masyadong pinaniniwalaan ng mga barangay officials kasi pa iba-iba nga naman.
under current law, elective barangay officials have term limits?
Yes, it's 3 years, 3 terms. So that's a total of 9 years po.
Yes, but let us say that there is a shortened term. Is that counted as a term? So, kunyari, there are 2 normal terms, the 3 years, and then there is one unusual term, a shortened term like this one of 2 years. Will that count as 3 terms, although 8 years?
The understanding is that, which is a little bit confusing, is that the term began in 2022 in accordance with law because the postponement was void per the Supreme Court. So in 2023, retroacts to 2022, therefore the next election is 2025. Kaya nagkakagulo-gulo at hindi masyadong naintindihan eh.
So let us say because of an amendment to the barangay election law, a term of 3 years became 4 years, a term of 3 years became 2 years.
That's correct.
Those are counted as terms.
That's correct.
Yes, it may be a 4-year term, but that's a term. It's
That's
a
right.
2-year term, that's still a term.
That's correct.
And then so we count the terms, not the years of the cumulative years of the terms.
Tama po.
Tama
That's
po.
correct, which is another element that adds to the confoundment of the barangay officials.
So, the next scheduled, under current law, the next scheduled barangay election is on
2025. December of 2025 po.
any particular date of December
It's
20?
December 5, I believe, of 2025. It's always December 25, no?
Monday
It's a fixed, it's supposed to be the fixed the first Monday of December.
Sige, check na lang natin what is that first
Yes, which
Monday
is,
of December 2025. December 1.
For next year, it's December 1.
December 1, okay. So in the election for barangay in December 1, 2025, the expectation is that term is how long?
3 years under
3
the
years.
present
Okay,
law.
So yun po ang mga binabago natin.
That's correct.
Binabago na natin yung petsa ng eleksyon. Gagawin po nating
The idea
Second
is
Monday
to make
of-
it the second Monday of
May 2029.
Yes.
Nasa
2028.
bill po.
Kung 2025. Kung mag 6 years tayo, 2029, second Monday of May. Dahil
binabago nga nito
binabago
ng
natin.
panukala.
That's correct. That's correct.
So, kung maging batas ito, ang election bali ng mga barangay officials and SK would be second Monday of May na, yun muna, second Monday of May, and then 2029, tapos every 6 years thereafter.
Thereafter, that's correct.
Okay, so meaning
That's
to
the
say,
idea.
itong mga nahalal nung last barangay elections which was held on
October of 2023.
October of 2023, with full knowledge that they will be serving only up to December of 2025, they will now di natin pwede ko sabihin, they will either be benefited or even be damaged. So with an extended term. Actually, ang iba siguro doon, nung tumakbo, sabi niya, I'm willing to serve lang ako ng 2 years. Bigay ko yung 2 years ng buhay ko, tapos bigla natin gagawing, anong total po niya?
6 years as recommended. 6 years po. Kasi it will be...
Short yata.
Will be 5.5 in operation because October's at the end of the year. So in effect, it will be 5.5, which actually is very, very close to the terms actually served since 1982. Yung actual terms have been extended so many times na pag binilang mo yung average, halos 5 years plus.
Okay, then how come I get to read in the briefers that one of the reasons that we are giving for a 6-year term is that the 3 years is such a short term that they cannot implement a medium-term plan when in reality they are really serving for 5 years plus.
Well, that's precisely the issue because it's been raised each time and it's become the basis for constant postponements. Bawal na yung mga postponement na tama naman yung ating Korte Suprema. So rather than stay with the impracticable and clearly violated more in the breach, talaga namang kinakailangan siguro habaan na once and for all at ibalik dun sa original 6 years or 5 years as the case may be. Dahil postpone tayo ng postpone, nauubos ang panahon at hindi makapagplano ng maigi ang ating mga barangay.
Ang isa ko kasing nabasa po na dahilan na binibigay natin is with the longer fixed term, the barangay officials and members of the SK will deepen their understanding of both national and local issues as well as implement their own medium and long-term initiative at the barangay level.
Yes.
Pero
Yes.
kung in reality nga, nagpa 5 years sila, I don't think they can make that as an excuse that they need an additional 1 year so that they can implement medium to long-term initiatives. Ang ibig bang sabihin,
No, what I'm saying
yung mga
is...
mga nakalipas na nanilbihan ay hindi sila naka-come up ng medium and long-term initiatives kahit na 5 years, more than 5 years pa silang
Ang
nakaupo.
hirap kasi, ang nangyayari kasi, ako yung nag-umpisa sa barangay. Kaya medyo memorize ko kasi nag-umpisa po ako sa Kabataan Barangay, naging SK na, pinagpipilitan ko pa rin na sangguni ang katandaan. Kaya ang puso ko ay nasa barangay, ang politika ko politika ng barangay. Ang problema, things have changed radically since the local government code was passed in 1991. And what has occurred is that what used to be a rather ad hoc voluntary organization has now become a very fundamental and essential part of government. So lahat ng requirement ng gobyerno, sinalpak na rin sa barangay. Kung titignan lang natin yung training na required sa barangay, halimbawa, apakadaming training and seminar, pareho na halos ng mayor at gobernador. Meron yung BENEO, yung newly elected, yung administration training, disaster risk, peace and order, God seminar, health and sanitation. Sang katutak to kung ano yun. Dati, hindi naman ganyan. Ngayon, livelihood, solid waste, lupong, tagapamayapa, ang governance performing, financial management, napakadami na, computer literacy. Isa yun yung training. Ikalawa, napakadami na ring functions na wala na sa local government code. Kung papansinin natin, ang husay natin gumawa ng iba't ibang batas, pagkatapos yung implementasyon, mula nung 1991, binagsak na natin sa barangay at sa LGU. For example, ecological solid waste, disaster risk reduction, Magna Carta of Women and the VAUSI, yung ating, ano ba ito, yung hapag, halina't magtanim ng prutas, barangay at kalinisan barkada, Bagong Pilipinas, barangay road clearing, water conservation, anti-illegal drugs, talipapa satellite markets. Tapos meron pang mga DOLE, Brigada Eskwela, DOH vaccination and feeding. The list goes on. And it just has expanded so greatly, not only with the barangay, punong barangays, but also with the kagawads, as well as the SK. Furthermore, it's also become far stricter with the requirements for transparency and accountability. Yung documentary requirements ng COA at DBM para matuto lang yung barangay official, siguro higit sa 2 taon, di pa niya makakabisado lahat ng requirement. So, yun yung mga problema natin na yung barangay kakaiba na kesa sa nung panahon ko.
Hindi ko natatanungin po kung ano yung panahon nyo.
Kaya nga, dekada 70 po.
Hindi, pero hindi, ang tanong ko po is ganito. Hindi ba yung mga seminars na yun, it's either mandatory or recommended din pati sa mga mayor?
Yes, pati sa mga mayor, pati sa lahat.
How come sa Constitution na finix natin na 3 years, kaya ng mga mayor, kaya nila. So how come ang sasabihin natin ngayon na hindi kaya ng mga barangay officials?
Yes, I think
kailangan nila ng 6 na taon, hindi...
Unang-una, palagay ko, napakarami rin nagrereklamo na mayor, gobernador at congressman na yung unang taon nila, wala silang ginawa kundi kabisahin itong mga requirements, kilalanin lahat ng tao sa Kapitolyo at sa City Hall, at nahihirapan rin sila sa 3 taon. Sa 2nd taon, may alam silang konti. 3 taon, nangangampanya na ulit. So pareho rin ang reklamo nila. Ikalawa, siguro, bigyan natin ng konting pansin na yung mga barangay officials hindi po sanay sa mga documentary requirements, legal documents, yung bidding and awards procedure. Lahat yan required na sa barangay ngayon. Yung mga mayor, kahit papano, maraming abogado dyan, engineer, mga accountant, hindi naman siguro lahat ng ating barangay officials talagang bihasa sa ganung sistema.
Pero, Mr. President...
At saka kung maalala ninyo, yung City Hall, ang daming empleyado niyan Ganon din sa provincial government, kompleto yung mga department heads. Yung barangay, mag-isa lang siya, may kagawad siya, binigyan natin ng secretary at may treasurer, pero lahat singa pa. Samantalang nung ako, naging gobernador, ang daming nagtuturo sa akin
Kahit na let's say first term
Kahit
mayor,
first term
first
ka,
term
andyan
governor.
yung back mo. Yung back mo, ibibrief ka kung paano. Tapos yung mga provincial PM, ano man tawag doon? DRRMC, yung disaster risk. Sasabihin lahat ng prepositioning sa'yo. Matututo ka sa kanila sa haba ng panahon. Eto namang mga barangay, wala namang staff na gano'n at ng mga department heads na ang dunong-dunong na.
So, yes, sir.
Madam Sponsor, katulad lang po ron sa lungsod na Maynila, there are 998 barangays. Yung isang barangay doon, 2 kalsada lang. Halos lahat ng mga barangay doon, isang kalsada, 2 kalsada. Siguro naman, masyadong mahaba ang 6 na taon para gumawa ng improvements doon sa kanilang barangay. Siguro isang taon. Sa 2 kalsada lang, isang barangay na, siguro isang taon, 2 taon, pwede na siguro sila gumawa ng mga projects nila, ng mga improvements nila dahil 2 kalsada lang yung mga barangay doon.
With all due respect, yung ibang lugar doon, iisang kalsada lang.
Correct.
At may kasalanan ako doon kasi bahagi po kami ng mga naghati-hati nung mga barangay doon. Ang issue po sa Maynila, kung hahayaan ninyo akong magsalita, talagang hindi yung problema ng termino. Ang problema, yung dami ng barangay. Na dapat, siguro, i-consolidate yung iba.
Dapat i-cluster.
Pagkat yung iba, i-cluster na lamang. Kasi nga, ihambing na lamang sa precinct. Kasi napakarami nga talaga.
Pero
yun ang
syempre,
problema,
yung mga,
hindi po yung term.
Yung mga congressman natin sa Maynila, doon sa House, hindi papayag na i-cluster. Dahil, alam mo, natatakot din sila mawala ng boto.
Palagay ko, hindi naman sila tutul dyan kasi madadalian din sila sa trabaho nila kasi iilan na lamang yung kausap. Oo, kasi nangyari na rin yan sa ibang lugar. Halimbawa, yung Bacoor, nakita natin, nag-cluster po sila. May malalaking lugar din at iba pang lungsod kung saan talaga cluster. Alam ng COMELEC yan. Yung ibang mga lugar, katulad ng Bagong Diwa naman, Bagong Bayan sa Caloocan, biniyak yung isa, naging 6. Pero ibang issue po yun, hindi yung haba ng termino, kundi yung napakadaming barangay.
I agree. Dahil sa dami ng barangay nga, katulad nga sinabi ko kanina, at sinabi rin ni as mentioned by Senator Marcos, 1, 2 kalsada, isang punong barangay na eh. That's why we have I remember vividly, we have 998 barangays in the city of Manila.
Tama.
Palagay ko yun na siguro pinakamaraming barangay sa buong Metro Manila.
Yeah. Totoo yan. At yun nga, para silang naging ward leader ang nangyari dyan. Kasi isang kalsada lang iilan lang talaga.
So ibig sabihin po niyan, pag 998, 1, 2 kalsada lang, ibig sabihin, sa 6 na taon, pagbibigyan natin sila, I mean, marami na ho siguro magagawa. Sa 2, 3 taon, marami na sila magagawa kung 2 kalsada lang yung barangay nila.
Palagay ko, iisa lang naman yung Maynila. Kakaiba talaga yung Maynila.
So,
pero kahit sa Maynila na sinasabi natin na ang sikip-sikip sa dami ng barangay, 1 kalsada, 2 kalsada, may mga barangay na napakalalaki rin na umaapak din ng 2,000 ang botante.
Yes,
na ang ideal, ayon sa COMELEC, dapat ipako natin sa 800 lamang ang botante. Meron pa rin lumalampas, may 2,000, 3,000 sa isang barangay. Kaya hindi totoo na lahat ay napakaliliit.
Pwede pong malaman, Mr. President, saan nakuha ng COMELEC yung ideal number na 800 should comprise a barangay?
Yes, the 800 is not for the barangay. I think I misspoke. Basically, that's the ideal number sana para sa presinto. Para expeditious ang ating voting at sa kabilangan.
Sige, okay. So the COMELEC has no position on what's the ideal,
ay, yung barangay, hindi na sila nakikialam doon. Mali
So,
po yung pagkasabi ko. Hindi naman COMELEC ka. Sa presinto po yan. Kaya nga yung recommendation para sa Maynila, kung saan napakaraming barangay, sana i-cluster na lamang at gawin per precinct yung barangay. At wag naman masyadong maliliit.
It has to emanate from the House. Am I correct?
I think so.
Yeah. Alangan man tayo gumawa ng batas.
Kasi local yun. Local legislation always derives from the House.
And I think the council can
Yes, the city council
merge barangays.
also request the merging. Which is very, very unusual. Wala pa akong naririnig na merging.
You really need political will.
Ang naririnig ko lagi pinapabiyak pinapadagdag
So, Mr. President, just in case as a sponsor knows, what is our biggest barangay as of the moment and the number of voters and or inhabitants?
In Metro Manila, are you talking about?
Nationwide po.
Nationwide.
Opo. Tapos, then I will ask for the smallest also. Para makita lang po natin.
Smallest Manila. Dalawang kalsada.
Ano yung biggest barangay ngayon?
Tatlo kalsada.
Is that possible to know? Meron pa tayong data?
Pero wala na, nabiyak na eh. Ano na ngayon? Ang pagkaalam ko, yung pinakamalalaki talaga yung Bagong Silang, yung sa Caloocan, pero nabiyak na ng 6.
Okay na po.
Ngayon, may mga barangay sa Quezon City na ang alam ko kalahating milyon noon eh. Yung mga Commonwealth at saka Holy Spirit, ang pagkaalam ko talagang hundreds of thousands yan.
Can we be more accurate? Ang sabi ko naman, just in case we know. So, kung sabihin lang po kung hindi natin alam, so we will not answer the question.
We don't seem to have the
We
data
don't
right
have-
now
okay, sige
because
po.
it's also a
Understand.
moving target, if
And-
truth be told. Nagbabago-bago rin sinong pinakamalaki.
Can we ask na lang? Can we ask?
Yes, we will ask and submit.
What agency would have the information that we need?
By
Is it
right, the ILG should.
Comelec or
They're
DILG?
here, but the Comelec doesn't have barangay information. I believe the ILG should have the record, but they don't seem to have
Sige.
it at the moment. Biggest and smallest.
Can it follow? Can the information follow?
Yes.
The majority leader, Mr.
Just to-
President.
Just to interject, Mr. President, I heard something about Caloocan. This Congress subdivided the biggest barangay.
It's Commonwealth.
It's Barangay Bagong Silang.
Yeah, it's tama. I
So,
wasn't wrong.
we have subdivided that.
So, dalawa na barangay?
I think we have now 4 or 5.
What's the smallest?
When they were
6.
subdivided,
Yes.
yung Bagong Silang was
Yes.
subdivided,
Yes.
What's the smallest?
4 na? 6 na yung barangay sa...
6. That was formerly under Barangay Chairman Joel Bacolod. So,
So, what is the names of the barangay which were subdivided? Bagong Silang 1, Bagong Silang 2.
I forgot
Yes.
the exact name. The chairman of the Committee on Local
Yes.
Government is here.
Bagong Silang was really the biggest. For the information of our minority leader, I was right. In fact, the next biggest is
Numbers
Commonwealth in Quezon City at 213,000 votes, and Batasan Hills at 167,000 votes. Malaki pa po sa munisipyo.
That is the voting population.
That's correct.
But the inhabitants, the actual inhabitants,
It's almost
is
double.
We will just time
By,
Almost double.
by rule of thumb, double yan. Am I correct?
Yes, that's correct. Roughly double. So, the smallest,
Can we
The
get the
smallest
smallest?
maybe
Can
is
we
in
get the
Manila.
smallest?
Definitely, it's in Manila.
On record, what is the smallest barangay?
how many? Has? According to the 2020 census, Barangay 76 has a population of 2.
2?
Caloocan, the smallest barangay in Metro Manila, has a population of just 2. I've just
Yes.
been provided this
That's-
information,
but that's
I'm
very-
sure this is
That's very
some kind of a
artificial.
mistake.
No, that's correct. That's
Tama, two?
I saw a documentary kasi I think a private entity now owns the
entire,
territory,
land
but
area.
that's too artificial. Can we get what's the smallest
After
normal
that,
barangay? Mr. President?
After the 2, ano yung next?
Minority leader, you're talking about nationwide,
Nationwide
Not in
po.
Metro Manila.
Nationwide po.
Where?
Caloocan yung sinabi.
North Cotabato, somewhere. Where is the 2? Ay, the 7. Caloocan din? Sure ka? On record, it states that Barangay 76 and 72 in Caloocan are the smallest. Is that correct? Parang hindi pa ako nakakatagpo ng maliit na barangay sa Caloocan, ha? Pero yun ang nakalista sa Comelec at sa
Naging
DILG.
mall po.
Maghintay na lang po tayo kasi
Naging-
hindi ko naniniwala.
Kung maalala ko yung napanood kong documentary dyan, naging mall actually.
Naging
Naging
mall.
mall
So walang
yung
natira.
So, may I know the actual inhabitants in Pag-asa Island? Alam ko, maliit lang yun.
Pag-asa. Kalayaan Island. I think upwards of 400 is what is on record.
In Pag-asa Island.
Yes.
So, the voting
Di ba
population...
Kalayaan kasi may mayor?
Yeah, may mayor doon.
Oo,
But yung
at
mayor doon
munisipyo siya, hindi siya barangay.
No, pero may barangay doon.
May mga
Yeah,
barangay.
may mga barangay
May mga
doon.
barangay. Pero hindi siya iisa. Oo. Alin? Alin? Pag-asa Island. Oo.
Ilan ba barangay sa Pag-asa Island? Isa lang.
Pag-asa Island has only one barangay
Yeah.
in the entire Kalayaan Island group. So isang barangay lang siya.
So,
Yung
the-
Kalayaan yung maraming
The
barangay.
actual inhabitants, 400. 400? Kanya?
Let's say 500 kasi 2020 census to.
2020. So, the voting population is half, approximately. O 200 lang.
Correct. I think that's a good guiding figure, Mr. President. So with that, Mr. President, okay. So how come we arrived at 6 years? Was that determined in a scientific way, Mr. President?
Well, firstly, the notion was to desynchronize the barangay elections from the national and local elections. Ang concern natin, kapag naiiba sa 3 o 6 na taon, may mga taon kung kailan magsasabay na naman yan sa NLE at ang mangyayari, hihingi na naman o magkakaroon ng postponement na pinagbawal na. Kaya para maiwasan yung problemang yon, we determined that we stay with the 3 and 6 year terms that are already in place in the Constitution and just abide by those terms. For example, kapag naging 4 years, then the term will be the term will end and the elections will be conducted at the same time as the NLE on 2031, 2043, 2055, and so on. The same with 5-year, magkakaproblema rin tayo. The same year, 2028, 2043, 2058, sunod-sunod na naman nagkakasabay.
Okay, pero self-inflicted problem po ito. Kasi ginawa natin sa bill, second Monday of May. Kung hindi natin gawing second Monday of May, same year but different dates. Kahit
Yes.
magkasabay, pero hindi siya eksaktong kasabay sa taon pero hindi kasabay sa araw.
The
Sa bill natin magiging kasabay even
Yes.
sa araw.
The COMELEC urges that we stay with the May summertime period dahil sa napakaraming problemang napansin nung nakaraang Oktubre na puros bagyo yung logistical requirements, yung pagpapadala ng balota, ng gamit, hirap na hirap at maraming na-delayed. Ganon din na nangyari nung nagkaroon ng eleksyon nung December 5. Pati yung mga estudyante hirap bumoto dahil nga may mga exam pag October o di kaya may midterm break. So mas convenient talaga pag Mayo na, summer na, bakasyon na silang lahat. Kaya Mayo talaga pinaka-ideal para sa ating magka-eleksyon.
Pero kasi parang sinet up na po natin na para wala tayong choice kundi tanggapin ang 6 na taon na term para hindi magkasabay sa not presidential elections sa kayong mga
Midterm.
sa mga local elections or national NLE na midterm kasi 3 years yun and 6 years yun. Sinabay talaga natin na second Monday of May. Tapos napako na tayo ron. We have no choice but to accept 6 years para iwasan ang sabay. But that doesn't have to be the case, Mr. President. I mean, I mean,
think
is it June, or April unacceptable, or March unacceptable months for holding an election, Mr. President?
yes, they are. However, they're too close to the national and local election. The COMELEC urges that an ideal 7-month gap should be provided so that they can prepare adequately. If you will note, the national local elections are automated, whereas the barangay elections are manual. So that's an entirely different exercise. And the number of candidates in the barangay, with 42,000 barangays nationwide, is huge. Kasi napakarami talagang kandidato, pati yung mga kagawad, pati yung mga SK. Talagang kinakailangan nila ng mas mahabang panahon. Kahit ibang date, pero same year, yung pagitan sana ng 7 buwan,
Yes, okay.
hinihiling nila.
So in that case, Mr. President, therefore, if that is the request of the COMELEC, rather than give in to the 6-year term because we have no choice, why don't we grant that 7-month gap, Mr. President? So the 7 months from May would be back to October, actually, Mr. President.
That's the
And then
problem
we can
po.
be freed. We can be freed from that 6-year term. Kasi napapako tayo sa 6-year term kasi natrap tayo because we're choosing May. Ganun po ang nangyayari. Wala talaga tayong choice with that kind of a reasoning, Mr. President. So,
But once again, we will be conducting the elections during the typhoon season, which is now longer and longer from September until December. So yun ang iniiwasan natin because the large mobilization of people, of logistics, the conduct of counting and canvass is very, very troublesome during the typhoon months.
but Mr. President, masasabi naman natin that our barangays, current barangay governments are working. Some of them are exemplary barangay governments. Basta they're functioning. Hindi naman tayo nagfi-fail pa rin bilang bansa. So andyan pa rin yung frontliners ng government delivery. Dinadagdagan pa nga sila ng trabaho. So meaning to say, yung mga nahalal noong October, wala namang basic fundamental problems with those elected during the last election in October, kahit binagyo man yun. So, I'm just...
On the contrary po, ang daming SK na bakante, libo-libo ang bakante, hindi nakapagboto. Kaya nga, gusto sana natin na yung mga SK to make the SK mandate real. We should allow as many to vote. Today, the vacancies are upwards of 4,000. Ang dami nun eh. Dahil nga
Yes,
napakahirap nung panahon
So maybe
na
we have to
October.
review the
SK.
law itself, even yung baka yung age, yung ano. So, but I don't think that was determined by the timing of the election, Mr. President. Kasi nagbago na rin ang school year actually. Kung sasabihin natin na baka dahil may klase, whatever, kahit yata sa Mayo may klase na rin eh. So, Mr. President, so
the issue really is the typhoon season. We are trying at all costs to avoid the failure of elections. That's the worst thing that can happen because we have to resume the conduct. And the budget is really onerous. Whereas we spent, I believe, 12 billion last year, the stated cost for the succeeding election in 2025 will be something like 19 to 20 billion. So palaki ng palaki yung halaga. Mayat maya tayong nag-eleksyon. Yung unang taon, nangangapa pa, halos walang nagagawang trabaho. Yung ikalawa, medyo may alam na. Yung ikatlong taon, kampanya na ulit. Kaya, kung tutuusin, kung magaling man yung ating mga barangay ngayon, ang totoo, mas lalo silang magagaling kapag binigyan ng mas mahabang panahon.
yan po yung ating, actually Mr. President, yan yung ating hinahanap. What is now, since wala namang scientifically determined formula to determine the best length of the term of barangay officials, so parang ano lang ito, parang it's actually also an experiment. Kumuha lang tayo na, okay, 6 years para maiwasan ang pagsasabay sa NLE. But that should not be the primary consideration, Mr. President.
I believe that
And
sorry.
we trapped ourselves into into that situation by pinpointing the second Monday of May as the election day of the barangay officials, Mr. President. Iwasan natin yun.
there's very
then-
little wiggle room po because you only have May and then July, the rains begin. Even in the last part of May, the rains do begin. But assuming they come September, wala pa rin yung pagitan na kinakailangan natin.
The last
eh.
election, as we established earlier, was in October 2023. Tama?
Yes, that's correct.
Does the COMELEC or the DILG claim that the elections were a failure?
They were not a failure
Success.
overall, but certainly the difficulties encountered should be avoided as much as possible.
Yes, but at any rate, successful elections. Kasi otherwise po, talaga, I agree, pagka mag-second Monday of May tayo, wala na. Napako talaga tayo sa 6 years term, Mr. President. Yan,
Pero alatsamba rin yung October hanggang December. Depende sa ibang lugar, nagkaroon ng landslide. Sa ibang lugar, nagkaroon ng labis-labis na ulan at may binagyo. So, it's sort of luck of the draw. Parang nagsusugal tayo kapag October.
well, umabot tayo sa October because of the inputs from the COMELEC that they need a 7-month gap. Kaya tayo umabot sa... So, ang tanong ko, ano ba talaga ang gusto ng COMELEC? Kasi
Ang gusto talaga ng COMELEC, suportado po nila yung sinasabi na unang-una, desynchronize from the national and local. Ikalawa, kung maari silang pagbigyan ng magandang panahon.
ito pong panukala natin, kahit baguhin namin yung length of the term, that doesn't mean that it is synchronized. Tama? Where no one is pushing for synchronization. This is
No,
still,
we're
this is-
actually
this is
pushing
still
for
desynchronized.
desynchronization.
Correct.
Yes, that's correct.
So even if we talk about 5-year term or 4-year term, it doesn't mean that that proponent for a shorter term is for synchronization. Basta
That's one of the reasons that's being given. However, to my mind, the burdens imposed and the laws that we require them to implement are so numerous as to make it impossible in a 3-year period. Talagang hindi nila malalaman lahat ng kanilang mga katungkulan, sangkatutak ang training, pati yung mga papeles ng COA at DBM, paano nila malalaman yung GPPB, yung tender and awards. Wala naman silang department heads na magbaback up sa kanila. Sila ay sariling sikap, kaya sangkatutak nga yung seminar. Kaya actually, awang-awa nga ako sa mga barangay officials ngayon, ang taas ng expectation ng tao, pero yung pagkukunan nila, yung kaalaman, yung kanilang tauhan, iilan lamang.
That's why ang conclusion ng sponsor and the committee is going 6 years. But pwede rin namang i-extend to 4 years or 5 years. Are there fundamental reasons or criticisms that we cannot entertain 4-year terms or even 5-year terms?
Yes, of course, we can do that. We are just thinking of trying to address as many problems as possible. But certainly a 4 or 5-year term will be much better than the existing 2-year term that the incumbent barangay officials will be having.
Tapos kailangan yung second Monday of May, kailangan din natin galawin yun kasi otherwise
Tatama rin
otherwise mag-meet sila after a certain cycle.
every 12 years po.
After,
Yeah, every 3 elections.
If 4 years, every 3 elections.
That's right.
If 5 years, every 6 elections.
6 elections.
Yes, mga ganun siguro. So, the majority leader is still energetic, Mr. President. I was about to ask for the suspension of my interpellation, Mr. President.
What is the pleasure?
Because we have established that the sponsor is open to any proposal from 4 to 6. Pero yun nga, pinapoint out ko so that we will not be really trapped into the 6 years. Palitan din dapat yung second Monday of May. But the majority leader, Mr.
But
President.
the minority leader has no fundamental objection to the 6 years, aside from the fact that it's very long. Or to your mind, it's very long? Are you open also to considering the 6 years po? Just for purposes of argument.
Mr.
Dahil ang
President,
dami talaga nilang trabaho, nagugulat ako
alam
sa
ko.
kanila.
ang gusto ko kasi sana yung electoral process natin inclusive. Parati natin ginagamit yan, inclusive. Ibig sabihin, bigyan natin ng chance manilbihan din yung iba. 6 times 2, 12 years. Kaya kinukuha ko yung life expectancy ng Pilipino, Mr. President. We have only around 70 years life expectancy, minus mo 18, so yung minority years natin, 52 years lang yung adult life natin, and then never tayo magiging inclusive kung ganyang kahaba po, Mr. President, i-allow natin.
Paano po yung mga senador? Paano po yung mga senador? 6 plus 6 din.
Mayroon sigurong wisdom yung framers. Ito kasi po, wisdom of the framers of the Constitution ratified by the people. Samantalang ito, it's really wisdom in law. So
But
that's
on
why
the
we're
contrary-
debating now on what is the wise policy as far as the length of the term of office of the barangay official.
On the contrary, the minority leaders making a case for the barangay's extension to 6 plus 6, following the wisdom of those who framed the Constitution.
Well, Mr. President, meron kaagad automatic inconsistency. Diba? Province, 3 years. LGU, municipality, 3 years. Component niya si barangay, 6 years. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, there's automatically parang an inconsistency as far as the terms of office are concerned. But although
if I
it's a matter of wisdom,
yes,
it's
the
a
wisdom of
it's a
the
policy, it's a policy, yes.
of the Constitution's framers. And if I may, things have changed radically. The seal for local good governance applies also to the barangays. There are quarterly assessments, there are remedies, including the withholding of their honoraria, no? And today, it's been very, very strictly applied with the civil service and DBM guidelines right in there when there are absentee barangay officials.
Mr. President, just one intervention.
Yes.
Yes.
Please proceed.
I'm supportive of this extension for the record. The good sponsor is familiar with my stance on this, but talking with the current chairman of the Committee on Local Government, I was reminded of a period in our barangay electoral exercise during our younger days, when perhaps the author then would probably have been the father of the good minority leader, when there was one election period when all ran for barangay kagawads. And then the top-notcher would automatically be declared as the barangay chairman. I think I was still in high school. Or I don't know, but it happened. In Tagaytay, they were all running as barangay kagawads, and then the number one kagawad would be the barangay captain. Would this model serve the same intention? Because I heard
Yes,
about the lack of training, etc., etc.
I have heard about this a long time ago, I believe. There was such a thing, and today it still occurs when no barangay captain has been elected by operation of law. Sure, certainly the first kagawad will take the position of punong barangay. Today, I'm not certain that this would work out, particularly for the ever larger sizes of our barangays.
Salamat po. Naitanong ko lang po yon dahil hindi na po naulit yon, Mr. President.
O kasi nga, medyo mas lalong gumulo yata eh.
Pero yung ating panukala po is nakafocus sa length of the term.
That's correct. That's
This is
really
yung-
all it is.
Yung renace ni majority leader is parang mechanism in
That's correct.
choosing the
Yes po.
barangay chairman. So, Mr. President, I hope the sponsor doesn't mind if we can ask for time to reflect, given our exchanges tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you, thank you. I will just gently remind all my colleagues that the barangay elections are scheduled for little less than 1 year from today. So as soon as we can come up with a decision and consult and meet with our counterparts in Congress, the better it will be for everyone. Next year, after all, is going to be a super election year, 2025, with the historic first BARM election, the regular midterm election, as well as another BSKE election.
Since the sponsor raised that issue, one question lang. COMELEC is here?
Yes, Bob.
Okay. Is COMELEC assuring us that even if, let's say, we stick to current law and current schedule, they can hold all of those elections next year?
Well, they are bravely saying yes,
But-
but urging that if we can defer the BSKE to a more workable time frame, they would be grateful.
But does the sponsor have any doubts that they can pull it off? COMELEC can pull it off?
Well, I know that they will do their very best, but I have certain doubts that every single barangay election or SK election will be conducted efficiently and thoroughly. Mahihirapan talaga yan kasi magpapadala lang ng mga balota, mag-imprenta pa lang ng balota, ang katutak yung kandidato, tapos magkakaroon ng mga delay dahil nga sa season. But all I can say is wag na natin antayin ang mga bagyo. Kasi patindi ng patindi, padami ng padami ang mga bagyo. Kaya ayaw natin ng October to December kung maaari. Iwasan na lang natin ang bagyo.
So, Mr. President, if I can suspend my interpellation, Mr. President, because we can still, I think, further explore the reasoning behind the details of the bill, Mr. President, on the date, the length of the term. But it will be, when we resume interpellation, it will be a shorter one, Mr. President.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Minority Leader.
Thank
Only
you,
one
Ma'am
question,
Sponsor.
Madam Sponsor. It slipped my mind a while ago when we were discussing the smallest barangay. Ang inhabitants lang yata, dalawa.
Ayun ang sabi.
Dalawa,
yung,
may barangay captain. Doon sa dalawa. Paano yung makagawad? 10. So,
we'll have to get more information on that. At the moment, it says there are only 2 in that barangay because a single owner took over the entire property, apparently.
all right. Thank you, Madam Sponsor. Majority Leader.
Likewise, for the information, Mr. President, before I make the motion, when the smallest barangay of 2 is in Caloocan, the biggest barangay also is in Caloocan. Barangay Bagong Silang, formerly, is now divided into 6 new barangays.
It's no longer the biggest barangay, di ba?
Used to be. Now it's barangay 176A up to 176F. So yun na po yung bagong pangalan ng barangay Bagong Silang. 6.
Senator Legarda.
Yes. It's interesting because I come from Caloocan in a way because the place where I was born is in the boundary of Malabon and Caloocan. But may I know the population now of the biggest barangay in Caloocan, Mr. President? 300,000? Yes.
Maybe we can
May we know the
ask
population?
the representative of the local government.
Where is that? No, that's still 176. Undivided yan. It's the undivided Bagong Silang.
Holy Spirit.
What are they asking? The biggest barangay in Caloocan? No, but that's Quezon City. I think they're asking for Caloocan.
I think Senator Legarda is asking for the biggest barangay. Am I correct?
They
Is
were,
that the biggest barangay in the country or in Caloocan?
that's why I wanted to clarify when I heard that this is the biggest barangay. Is it the biggest barangay in the city of Caloocan or the biggest barangay in the Philippines? And may I know what is the population of the
It
biggest
has already
barangay
been subdivided.
in the Philippines?
Yes,
Yeah.
the biggest barangay in the Philippines today is Commonwealth in Quezon City, 213,000 voters, and it's closely followed by Batasan Hills, again in Quezon City, with upwards of 167,000 voters.
Okay. So I heard earlier in Caloocan it was the biggest barangay. So it is not the biggest barangay in the Philippines, perhaps
No
the biggest
more, no
barangay
more.
No more.
Bagong
in Caloocan.
Silang was Barangay 176. It's been subdivided, as Senator Ejercito, the chairman of local government, stated, into 6 different barangays. So hindi na siya yung pinakamalaki kasi pinagbiyak na sa 6.
Yes. Having heard the biggest barangays, now would you be in a position to tell us the smallest barangay in the Philippines? Do we have that data?
Yun nga, yung sinasabi nga na Barangay 76 sa Caloocan muli at ang nakatakda, dalawa lang ang botante, dalawa lang ang populasyon.
Where were you?
Liliwanagin nga natin yan kasi iisa daw ang bumili ng lupa, ginawang mall.
Oh, I don't think, Mr. President, it's possible to have a barangay with just 2 persons because even just the barangay officials, you have the barangay captain, the kagawads, secretary, treasurer. So how is that possible?
In addition to the...
Actually,
Actual
in
inhabitants.
reality, there are many anomalies, not only in Caloocan. Many of our barangays have not been created. For example, in my case, up in the Cordillera, there are so many barangays that need to be separated from the poblacion barangays and the mountainous barangays. Ang lalayo po nila, dapat paghiwalayin. Pero hindi pa nagagawa talaga.
Yes. Last question for now. During a hearing of the budget of the Presidential Communications Office, I asked the head of the Philippine Information Agency on the number of barangays. There seems to be a discrepancy between the PCO and the Philippine Statistics Authority and DILG on the number of barangays in the country. May I know from the resource persons present here, per DILG, how many barangays do we have in the
42,000,
Philippines? And is this aligned with the number of barangays per the PSA and the PCO?
Well, to the best of my knowledge, on record, we have 42,011 barangays. Ang nangyari pala, may karugtong pala yung storya ng barangay na dadalawa yung populasyon. At ang nangyari, nagkaroon ng panukala, bumoto sila, natalo sa boto sa merger. Kinakailangan magbotohan tungkol sa merger ng karatig na barangay. Hindi natuloy dahil natalo sa boto. Kaya hanggang ngayon, nakatayo siya na dadalawa lang ang tao.
Well, may I know the name of the barangay with 2 persons, Mr. President?
76, no? It's Barangay 76 in Caloocan. We will attempt to get further updates, but in truth, that's all we have in the records now.
And there is a barangay captain and the other one is a kagawad, I assume.
Malamang.
Or maybe a barangay treasurer. And does it mean that that barangay is able to receive their IRA, the Internal Revenue Allotment? Ang swerte naman nila. Dalawa
The
lang
information
sila.
that I receive is that aside from the 2 inhabitants, meron silang barangay captain tsaka 7 kagawad. I think they have
So,
they have
kumpleto
a
yung opisyal.
complete lineup.
But
Pero
if there-
ang nakalista kasi dito sa census ng 2020, dadalawa ang tao. Kaya tignan natin at aalamin ko at ipagtatapat ko, hindi ko alam eh.
well, once you have the information, we would be happy to receive.
Naging
the
mall
information.
kasi yan eh. Ang alam ko, isang sumakop ng lupa, ginawang mall, wala na talagang residents.
Anong mall po yun sa Caloocan?
Araneta Square Mall?
Oh,
Yes, that's correct. Our Araneta Square Mall, where Pure Gold and other commercial establishments, Northwest Plaza, and Victory Liner Terminal are all located in that area. There are no permanent residents. As a result, a mere 2 are registered as populating that single barangay.
is this an isolated case in the Philippines, or are there other
I think
barangays with
I believe it's isolated, but I mentioned earlier that there are many barangays that really need review. Sa amin naman, ang kinakailangan, creation ng bagong barangay sa mga tuktok ng bundok at sa mga isla-isla. Hindi pa sila barangay, pero ang lalayo nila. They are unmanaged and ungoverned, as it were. Kasi wala namang official pa dun. Wala pang barangay dun. So that is a real problem.
Thank you for that. We would be happy to invite the barangay captain of the smallest barangay in the
The
Philippines.
barangay captain has been barangay captain since 1988. And is
Wala,
running unopposed.
nakalimutan na siguro yung barangay na yan, katulad nung iba. Ano po, syempre, wala naman lalaban na.
Okay, last. Mr. President, I said it's my last question. I'd just like to put this on record. But we know, as the good sponsor would know, that per the local government code, the Sangguniang Barangay should be composed of the Purong Barangay as presiding officer and 7 regular Sanggunian members. What does it mean then if there are only 2 inhabitants and therefore only 2 officials of the barangay? Are they in violation of the local government code? And what do we do about them? Kung dalawa lang sila, wala man lang SK.
Wala tayong magagawa kung walang tumakbo. Pareho ng mga SK yan. 4,000 barangay. Ang talagang walang SK. At napakaraming lugar kung saan yung SK ay kulang-kulang. Wala talaga yung 7 pagkat magkakamag-anak sila. Madalas yan nangyayari sa SK kasi may anti-dynasty provision ng SK. Kung maliit lang yung barangay, talaga naman magkakamag-anak halos lahat. So walang mahanap na lalaban o tatakbo na hindi ka mag-anak. Yun ang problema sa maliliit na barangay sa probinsya. Marami kaming barangay na kulang-kulang talaga yung SK.
Tutudukan ko muna ang usaping barangay na napaka-interesante at I'm sure we will resume this conversation because meron naman pong mga barangay na ang buong populasyon ay lumipat sa ibang barangay pero sila'y nakahirehistro pa rin sa barangay na yon at doon pa rin bumaboto maski sila po ay nakatira na sa ibang barangay, sa ibang LGU, ibang bayan at hindi na sa barangay, sa bayan na yon. Dalawa pong alam kong barangay na ganun, na wala na pong tao pero nandun sila sa kabilang bayan nakatira.
Tama. At yung pala 1988 na sinasabi doon sa Caloocan na dadalawa yung tauhan sa Barangay 76, ang balita, wala naman daw tumakbo. So, wala naman lumaban. So, eto na yung pinakamahabang holdover sa balat ng lupa.
So, ibig sabihin, pagkatapos ng expiration ng term niya, tumakbo pa rin siya? Dahil wala
wala naman kasi lumaban, sabi ng COMELEC, di tuloy-tuloy lang siya in a holdover capacity.
Walang nag-question ng kanyang pagtakbo?
Hindi siya tumakbo. Pero hindi naman siya maaring magbitaw kasi wala naman papasok na bago. Kaya nakakatuwa nga yung sitwasyon eh. Until the successor is elected and takes office. Wala nang lumaban, di walang nanalo, walang uupo. Saan niya iti-turn over ang dokumento? Di hold over siya ng pagkatagal-tagal.
Pagka pumipirma siya ng mga legal documents, is it allowed? Is it legal?
Na?
Pag pumipirma siya ng kontrata?
Holdover capacity naman, you have the full powers and functions of the official legitimately elected. Tuloy-tuloy lang. Alamin ko yung katotohanan, nakakatuwa naman itong mga sitwasyon na to.
Majority leader. Naguguluhan ako rin sa dadalawa lang yung inhabitants eh.
Yes, Mr. President, with that, I move that we suspend consideration of Senate Bill number 2816.